Ready?
Yeah, dude, let's do this. Oh my gosh. Woo! Yeah! That's awesome.
Morning, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
You actually made it.
I did.
Steve Dulcich is not going to be on this particular episode, and so we invited Dave Chappelle, Dirthead Dave, who you know from the MotorTrend show Dirt Every Day and also from Dirthead Shed on YouTube.
Yep.
And I needed his expertise because the original Roadkill muscle truck sits like a truck.
This thing is such a rad truck, and it's an iconic piece of your fleet, but it kind of sits a little weird, and the rear suspension leaves a lot to be desired.
It's a hack job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been following along with this truck for years. I saw when you first took it to the sand dunes, and I was like, that thing is super cool. And I noticed you had done airbags on it, then you took airbags off of it. It's got a step notch, and I was like, gosh, this thing's sort of hodgepodgey.
It's total hodgepodge.
But it's one of the coolest trucks, and it's got the platform to build whatever you want off of. So we're gonna chop it up. We're gonna throw coilovers on the back, hopefully build some sort of custom four-link. I ordered like a smorgasbord of parts, so we should be able to make something cool out of the back. And then at the last-ditch effort, he's ordering up coilovers so we can sort of sort out this front suspension.
Yeah, we're gonna begin that, but first I actually have to wrench on a little bit because last time I saw the muscle truck was on an episode of Roadkill Garage where Dulcich and I installed 2 Holly Sniper EFI units on top of my supercharger, and I had to steal the fuel pressure regulator out of this, so I'm gonna fix that problem, and then we're gonna hit the road, but I'm not gonna do it alone because the Fabrication Master has brought his own Mustang 2. You gotta see this.
Fab Master? That's a stretch.
I did say that.
David, you were always telling me how much you liked Mustang 2s.
Right, I always was. This thing is so terrible, it's flawless.
I love it.
He drove this thing 2,200 miles in the last week.
Yeah, it's so rad. It's still got the crummy 2.34 cylinder. I did throw a Holly 2-barrel on it, which isn't tuned properly, but it gets down the road fine. It keeps up in the slow lane.
And it's only cool because you completely fabricated it with nothing but elbow grease. That's what I think's great about it.
It's
super
fun.
cheap fun.
I was not expecting to get to pair this up against the muscle truck by any means.
Yeah.
But I'm down to see what it'll do. I don't care. I think
You
it'll be
drove
fun.
it here, so I just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I think our plan is gonna be to road trip this thing and find a parking lot and just beat on our cars and have a good time. And I want to find out before and after if we're gonna make the muscle truck worse or not.
Let's do it. Let's hit the road. Mine won't do that.
It's always cool to get a chance to drive the muscle truck. This thing has just been so bulletproof. It's honestly why I've been so hesitant to change anything on it, because it just works good enough at everything. You know, it runs like 1330s at the drags. You can drive at 80 miles an hour all day long. You can take it to the autocross and blast it around. It's just a fun thing. But Dave swears that we can make it look way better, which I believe, and he swears it won't drive any worse. Here's the thing about Dave's Mustang 2. I love it because it shows that you can make something unique just with your raw talent and no money, or, you know, comparatively little money. You don't have to like the car. You don't even have to like the style that he's given it. But I think the fact that he chose to go with the chrome reverse wheels and the white walls and everything, it gives it just a completely unexpected look. So low buck car, unexpected look, and he drove it 2,200 miles and it gets 20 miles to the gallon. There's just no fail.
Wait for me, Dave.
We're at Santa Maria Airport in California, and they gave us a little patch of land here to tear it up.
We laid out a bunch of cones. We're gonna try and see if this thing will slalom course, do a big swoopy drift around the back 40, and then slalom course back, right?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go out and just sort of feel it out, get used to it. I think I can do the big drift on the big end if I practice. I don't think I'll do it the first time.
All right. That thing is super rowdy. I don't know that I've ever driven anything with that much horsepower. He's out here, like, gonna rip it around like it's nothing.
Okay, I'm just gonna take it easy the first time here.
That truck scares the crap out of me.
Okay.
Apparently we need to put the cones where they're not gonna get plowed over.
Wow, this is gonna be pretty fast. Question is, how will it handle?
That is a race car right there, boy. That was awesome.
So it's overpowered, undertired, underbraked, and underskilled. Okay, one more. It's getting dark, and I want Dave to drive. You gonna time?
Yeah, I'm gonna time it.
Okay.
Ready? Oh yeah, he's really getting after it.
See, now this is where the front brakes don't work. There we go.
Oh, dang, he's getting after it.
Okay. Brakes are smoking hard. That's the brakes smoking.
Yeah, they're all mad at you.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's one of the problems with autocross. You really need brakes that won't do that. Why don't you give it a shot? Well, that was fun with the muscle truck, but I gotta see what Chappelle's Mustang 2 can do. Have you seen the fabricated suspension on this thing? You will. He's got trailing arms on the back that come backwards from the axle, and it's all airbagged out, and the front is custom. It's definitely weird. Let's see how fun it is. All right.
Ready?
Yep.
Did it, scratch second.
Go, little lima bean. Oh, this thing's way better than the muscle truck. This is awesome. Better stop. Wow, 38.41. You're getting it.
That was so good.
It's way better. See, slow is fast. That's why it's faster than muscle trucks. You can't overdrive the thing.
That was awesome.
Okay, that was a riot. Thing went 38 seconds. It's not that much slower than the muscle truck, basically because it refuses to spin the tires and it refuses to spin out.
It was awesome.
It was
actually
completely awesome.
It didn't suck.
So now we have to go turn my truck into a lowrider, and so that's our job for tomorrow.
All right, let's go get busy.
We're working on the original Roadkill muscle truck, and Dave, I think there's a big risk of putting a mustache on the Mona Lisa here. That's my concern.
I know, you've been worried about it all week. He's like, don't mess up my truck. I can't mess this thing up.
Well, and that's the thing. I've been reflecting on what we did yesterday, and I think you nailed it with the fact that the stance has been wrong on this thing for years. It's got too much gap in the front wheels, the tires are too small, and I think the thing that has made this thing good is that it's got a really tall rear tire, and right now it sits level, and what we want to do is a taller tire to fill the wheel well and then get the thing down and give it just a little bit of a rake. Don't you think that's like the priority?
Yeah, no, I mean, we aren't gonna make huge changes here. We gotta get the front suspension like 1.5 inches lower. bigger tires and then level it back out with the rear suspension. And you already notched it, so there's room for days to do whatever we need.
And so we're gonna do all of that without trying to mess up the overall ride quality. And the thing I really reflected on last night is the handling thing. I don't care as much about that as I do about the street drivability.
Yeah.
And in driving it on the road last night, I realized the alignment is whack. It actually is a little twitchy. And when you go around highway turn, you turn, and then it sort of takes a set. It's almost like it's tipping
like,
over on the front end like it doesn't have enough caster.
There's definitely room for improvement, and hopefully, like, it's just improvement. We're not going backwards at all.
And we get to do it all with that construction truck beeping in our ear all day long.
Yeah, no sweat.
Yeah. You said also what I didn't know, which is that this thing crabs like a puppy dog down the highway, which I didn't even know.
I was following him in the Mustang, and it was like, if you're right behind his driver's tires, you can see a whole tread of the front tire. And then you go over to the other side, and you can't see the front tire at all.
And I realized the bed could be on crooked, but there's a ton of tire clearance here and not that much there. So you want to start by kind of stringing the thing?
Pull the bed off, and then we'll pull a tape measure out and figure out what's going on with this thing.
Okay, so first step, bed off. With the bed off, we can get a look at my prior mangling from 15 years ago. Here's sort of the basics of it. I put a big step notch in it, my very first welding job ever.
That's not bad. It's in there. It's obviously working.
It's got airbag mounts that were never used. Oh, wow, my shock cross member is bent if you look at that.
Yeah.
And the shocks are way too far tilted inboard. It's kind of ridiculous.
This is like old school rock crawler style. Like everybody used to tilt the shocks in because they thought they could get more
articulation. Exactly. And they're air shocks, which is bad. The leaf springs are original, but I pulled a bunch of springs out of it to help drop it. And then it's got Caltrax bars on it, which are actually a drag racing traction device. You want to see the jump?
Yeah, let's see how it does. So
you can see
here the drive shaft has rubbed that cross member a bunch of times, which isn't good. So my job is I want to 4-link it, which I don't know if I want a triangulated 4-link or if I want to do all the bars forward and then a track bar.
Okay, I'll kill all the zip ties and everything, and then what do you want to remove first, shocks?
Yeah, we'll get shocks off, and then I'll get the torch and start getting rid of brackets. Everything's a competition, Dave.
I know, it's
Come on.
How'd you know? I didn't know you knew that. Ah, you won.
This is gonna be fun.
And basura.
It's not often that I'm cutting bag mounts off. This bar definitely came out of an old car or something. It has that like rust and cat pee smell. Six and a 16th. So that's more like
it's off.
5/16.
It's off.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We just measured every which way to try and figure out if the rear end is square and centered side to side. It isn't. It's about 5/16 out of whack. Did we decide it's this way?
It's longer on this side.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then it's only about a 1/16 different this way, which is nothing to worry about.
I think the next step is going to be put it on jack stands, and then we'll pull wheels, and I'll have you stand on the back, put a little weight on it, and we'll at least get our ride height kind of squared away so that we know we're in the ballpark there.
Right, okay.
We're gonna have adjustability. I imagine with this bed really on it, you're probably about 6 1/4. It says 6 1/2 right there.
Okay.
And you're a little lighter than the bed.
Only a little? What are you trying to say?
Let's get it on jack stands and call that its home for a few days.
One of the things that we were doing while measuring just now is a good Chappelle schooling, which is you want to measure from points on the frame that can't really move. Like I was measuring from a bolt hole, and he reminded me that that could be a bumper bolt that's actually slotted, so it's not consistent side to side. So we were measuring points that are repeatable, like rivets in the frame and factory stamped holes in the frame. That's how you can make sure everything's square. Now we've got it on 4 jack stands plus a wedgie one on the front to make sure that it doesn't teeter at all, and this is like where it's gonna be anchored for the duration of the project. The first thing that we're gonna do is mark on the ground where the axle center line is so that when we put it back together, the wheels are centered in the wheel well properly because we know they work well now.
All right, cool.
That will fall apart now. Ready?
Go for it.
I'm bleeding on stuff. Let me go wash up.
First blood. Dave gave first blood on this one.
My skills are about to be put to use. I'm going to be allowed to grind all the slag off the thing. Now the demo is over and we're going to install our new suspension. This is mostly going to be a Chappelle-like make it up as we go along, but let me give you the basics. First of all, we're going to convert it to coilovers, meaning the shock with the spring on it that will hold the vehicle up instead of leaf springs. And then when you do that, you have to have a way to locate the rear axle, and we're going to do that with a triangulated 4-link. He knows how to explain that.
The 4-link is pretty rad. We're using these parts from Barnes 4-wheel drive. This is all heavy-duty rock crawler stuff, but it's what I know, and I know it's strong enough for Dave's driving. So you've got the lowers that sort of locate the axle front to back, and then the uppers are triangulated. So those bars are gonna be going like from the center of the axle to the frame. Those triangles allow you to throw it into a corner and the axle will stay centered in the chassis. So this thing's gonna be good. We're going to sort of wing it. We're gonna locate things where they fit the best, and we will use our brains to make sure that we don't make it worse than it was.
Well, that's your brain. I mean,
Yeah.
You'll see the erector set as we go. It's actually super cool, and I'll sort of explain everything also as we're going. Step 1, new cross member that isn't bent and smashed.
Cool, things are happening.
We're gonna end up taking out this cross member, and so we're gonna tack a piece in here to sort of just hold the frame stable as that comes out. Before we knock this out of here, what we're gonna do is locate the rear axle, making sure that it's good side to side, fore and aft, and then we're actually gonna weld it to the frame. We're gonna put stringers from the frame down to the axle to hold it in the exact position we need. Now we're gonna get rid of this cross member because we have this thing in that's holding the frame from flopping around and the axle's all welded in. Dave's gonna come in here and just torch this thing out of here before we start to pop the rivets, and I'm gonna like manage wires and hoses so that he doesn't catch us on fire. By the way, notice the use of the water bottle with a hole stabbed in the top as a spray bottle.
Kicking butt.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Dude.
All right, that was a little more demo than I anticipated, but I think good first day's work, right?
Solid day.
Yep, tomorrow we build.
Yep, no more taking this thing apart.
Nope.
That was good, man.
Ooh, brewery down the street.
Let's go.
Yeah. How was the brewery, Dave?
Oh my gosh, he's a pool shark.
What?
He said he hadn't played in like 20 years, and he ran the table for like 3 hours.
Up to the first 3 beers, and after that,
Yeah.
it was downhill.
It was rough, but today we have to do things that actually matter.
I can't wait.
We're gonna 4-link this truck today. Hopefully by the end of the day, it is cycling up and down, and we're gonna be figuring out if it works or not.
Lower control arms first.
Yep, we're gonna move jack stands around so we have a spot to work, and then...
We can't figure out what is
Yeah.
holding the truck up right now, actually.
It's pretty wild.
Man, you hear that construction still?
Yeah, those guys are getting after it. We need to do the same.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep, good to go.
Chappelle comes on Roadkill Garage, and next thing you know, we're sweeping the floor.
I know.
It's kind of ridiculous. Last night, I had so many like sparklies between the toes, or kind of stabby and stuff. I'm actually wearing shoes.
These are big moves for you.
Yeah.
So we got rid of the old Caltrax and leaf springs, and we're gonna 4-link this thing. So I ordered a Barnes 4-wheel drive universal 4-link kit for a rock crawler. This is all like 1/4-inch formed plate, giant enduro joints on it. We've got these lower brackets, which can be designed to either be really high clearance for like a rock crawler application, but on this, we're gonna drop them down and back because it should work better with the lowered truck. And then we're gonna use a leaf spring mount. We'll angle them out so that we end up with a triangulated bar down here. And then this one is pretty trick. This bracket is designed to go on the inside of the frame and work with the triangulated 4-link upper bars. So that one will end up on the inside of the frame there. And it has 3 positions on it so that we can mess with our anti-squat or or instant center. These kit parts come kind of easy to ship. You weld them up and put it on your truck, and bam, we got 1/4-inch plate, heavy-duty rock crawler stuff on this muscle truck. Since we have to weld these brackets up on our own, we're gonna tighten the joint in place, and that'll get the tab width where it needs to be. But every time you try and do that and get it right, they end up shrinking up after you weld. So I usually make some shims out of an old soda can, put those in next to the joint, tighten everything up, weld it. Then when you pull it apart, it should still fit just perfectly fine with the joint after you take these things out. Then I usually fill that square in.
Oh,
just
really?
so it doesn't have a bunch of stress risers. Yeah,
Like
kind of like you were doing on the notch.
Corner,
Yeah.
cross, cross, cross.
Yeah, and then those ones I usually round off with a
Yeah,
with
because
sander.
that's gonna look ugly. All right, with Dave's trick on these shims, slides right out and slides right back in. Sweet. We're just sort of mocking up and eyeballing where all of these links are gonna go, and it's like gonna fall together perfectly.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We're just kind of figuring this out, like how far we can triangulate it. This is also gonna have our coilover hanging off the back of it, so I wanna make sure we got clearance to the frame and axle, and then also give ourselves some room for a wider tire if he ends up throwing like a deep backspace slick on it or something. So it is all coming together though. This bracket's gonna work without modification, that one's gonna work without modification, and even the upper triangulated link is just gonna drop right into the frame rail.
And the ground clearance is gonna be actually better than it was with the leaf springs and Caltrax bars.
Pretty rad. Keep going. Go like an inch.
So there's 26 inches.
Yeah, that makes me happier. We're basically making a fixture right now so that we can duplicate this angle from one side to the next. This actually could be kind of cool just to leave it on there, like lop this off and leave it on there.
And make it the triangulation, basically.
Basically have that as a fish plate for the side of the frame.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
Let's tack these to the frame.
I think we can.
Go forward with it just right there. We're at 25 and a half. That's right in the ballpark.
You think this is our guy?
I think that's it. So we got brackets welded onto the frame and the axle. Now it's time to make the link bars. The lowers are gonna be 25 inches long. So I've got the Enduro joint here. I went ahead and put the jam nut and the weld bung on it. That way I can get a proper measurement for how long I need to cut the tubing. So these are gonna be the lower link bars. You can see here, they're using what's called a weld bung. This is a threaded tube insert. It's 1.5 inch outside diameter on that. It's made to fit inside of this 1 3/4 120 wall round tube. It'll get a perimeter weld all the way around here. And then you can see here, I also drilled some holes in the tubing, and that's for a plug weld or a rosette weld. Basically, that just makes sure that even if the weld up here fails, this weld bung can't pull out of there. So once that's done, we can put them in the truck and then start figuring out our upper links. It's the name of our new band, the Welding Bungs.
So we're gonna weld this in right here, right?
Yep, that's going there. That fits good. We had to clearance the frame a little bit for the joint so we can run it at its highest position.
Yeah.
And the other end, it's just getting tabs welded right to the axle housing. So let's see kind of where this wants to land. Our link tabs are finally where they need to be. I had a whole bunch of back and forth, like trying to get this one to match that one. We had every tool in the book out. And then check this out. I just made this little cardboard template. I'm gonna go transfer that to 1/8 inch plate, and that will just kind of lock these two tabs in together. Essentially, that's just to help it so when you're slamming it into a corner, it's not really trying to like rip those tabs off the axle. So that should gain us a whole lot of strength and tie this thing all together. It'll look cool, and it'll get us one step closer to cycling the suspension.
All right, first link going in. Wow, mint. That is absurd beef for this truck. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
You knew that?
If we put a bunch of little Pete and Jake's parts on it, you would be like, that is too small.
Yeah.
This is a better option.
It's not breaking.
Not yet, it's not.
That's not going anywhere. This is my last mock-up lower control arm. We're gonna install it. And even though it's just a mock-up, you gotta do it right. I wanna think about a few things here. First of all, you wanna put the little grease fittings where you can get them, which on this side is gonna be down. The other thing is, remember that there is a left-hand thread and a conventional thread on each one of these so that you can rotate the bar and lengthen it or shorten it. And I always wanna put the left-hand thread in the most easily accessible location because it's always a mind twister and I don't wanna deal with it like up like this behind me reaching up to the rear end or something. So I'm putting these on the frame side. There's one in. Whoa, like a glove. Wow, I nailed the adjustment on the bench. All right, now we're gonna cut off these braces that have been holding the rear end in place, put a jack under the center of the pumpkin, and we're gonna be able to cycle the suspension, and that'll be it for the night. All right, we're gonna cycle it, see if anything binds or does anything horrible. It's going all the way up.
Yeah, give it some wiggles, check the articulation a little bit.
Like this?
Yeah, that's
Wow,
pretty good.
This thing's a rock crawler.
Yeah, gosh, it's cool.
Yeah, it's really good. The OGMT is officially 4-linked, and I think everything's working as expected. We're gonna call it a night. Mañana, I think we're gonna do coil-over brackets, and while Dave's working on that, I need to start tearing into the front end because we've got that airport rented again on Friday. Tomorrow's Thursday.
We can do this.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
We're out of here. We're working on the original Roadkill muscle truck. Our goal is to give it a better stance without ruining it. We've already converted the rear end from leaf springs
To a 4-link.
4-link is awesome.
Today I'm going to install coilover, so that'll suspend it and dampen the suspension, so that should be good.
And then I'm gonna start moving up towards the front. Now we had a coilover kit that we were gonna install to make it look good, and
Overly complicated.
it was ungood. And
We're
so
gonna
we're
get
just
back to our 16-year-old roots and chop some more coil
coils.
springs.
And bump stop it in the front. So that's what's going on. There's your marching orders. I'm gonna go tear the front end apart.
Okay, I'm gonna start easy today and just build a simple cross member back in here. I need something that sort of strengthens where we welded all these brackets to, and we need something to hang the exhaust from. So I'll cut a piece of tubing across for that, and then we'll weld some tabs on for the exhaust. Call that done, and then we'll move on to coilover mounts, because that's gonna be kind of a lot of work.
Here's the muscle truck front suspension situation. We'll start outboard and work our way in. First of all, I have no idea why it has this long of a lug studs in the front and not in the back, but it does. It has a bolt-on wheel spacer that just helps with the tire fitment. I've got stock disc brakes, and you saw how much those smoke on the autocross, and geniusly, we're not gonna do anything about that. Last thing is, it seems to have some old Magahis shock on it. Dave, how do you say Magahis? McCoys. Seriously?
Yeah.
Apparently that's McCoy. It's a really classic old school truck lowering company. And we have a regular old coil spring in here. This thing has had airbags in the past, and it just sits too high. And remember, our goal is to get this thing with a little bit of a rake and lower than it was on a bigger meet than it had. I had planned to do that with coilovers, but we opened the box and there was like this crazy erector set that you had to do to build it, and it's just not happening. So I'm gonna pull the coil out, and look, this coil has been cut once before and will be cut again. Okay, Dave, give me a mark.
You're wanting a 1-inch drop? Let's meet in the middle. You want to cut it here. I want to cut it here, so why don't you go here? The cross member's back in place and the exhaust hangers are in. I'm doing a little brace right here that's going from kind of where that lower control arm is mounting back up to the top of the frame rail. It's just something to try and give this thing a little bit more longevity and take a little bit of the stress riser off of that little corner and distribute it back up to the top of the frame. So probably not necessary, but it should do something, help me sleep at night. We're gonna assume that you cut them in the exact same spot.
Before?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to admit, I didn't like the disc directly in line with my junk.
I was gonna suggest shooting a cold open right there, but I was like, I don't want this as the thumbnail.
I've got the front suspension reassembled except for a zip tie and a cotter pin, but what I want to do is wait till he's done, put the whole truck down on the ground, and make sure that I don't have to take it apart again in order to cut another coil. So good enough for now.
I've got the lower coilover mount kind of mocked in place. It looks like it's gonna be living there permanently, so I'm gonna go ahead and weld that all up. I'll finish welding this control arm bracket while we're in here. That'll allow us to paint that section, get these bars back in, then once it's all ready to cycle again, then I can figure out where the upper bracket's gonna go.
We're getting stuff done. This is our last day of wrenching. We've got that airport rented again tomorrow, and we want to go thrash and find out if we did or did not ruin the muscle truck.
All right, so I cut out the shock tabs. They're just kind of rough cut right now. I'm gonna knock the slag off, clamp all 4 of them together, and then I'll probably actually tack weld them so that I can drill the hole in one shot. Then I'll take it all apart, drill my final hole, and they'll be ready to go on the rig.
Dave's finishing up our bump stops. Those bump stops are designed to not destroy the shock absorber. In other words, they will stop the axle before it completely bottoms out, because if this is the limiter, it tends to get beat up and leak and all sorts of things like that. What this is a QA1 single adjustable coil over shock. And coil over means that the coil will go over the shock. This is gonna be what suspends the truck now instead of the leaf springs. We started with a 200 pound per inch spring. We'll see if it works, I'm not sure yet. So what I'm gonna do is lower the axle down so that we can get the springs and shocks in.
Yep.
Well, this right now is not looking great. It appears as if we just gave this thing the stink bug stance of the century because the springs in the coils.
We do have the weight of the bed to put on it.
Yeah, that's not gonna make that difference.
We can overnight some 150s and throw them on.
What time is it?
I don't know, probably too late.
Too late. This is bad. Remember, one of my goals on this thing was to have a taller tire and tuck more rubber in the back. Well, my new tire is not taller, even though the specs online said that it was. That's one thing I'll warn you about, is that tire manufacturers don't seem to know the actual size of the tires they sell. Often I find that they're different than what was advertised. But anyway, this one is fatter than the old one, so it's gonna look cooler. Another thing I'll point out is even though the tread design is similar, this is a different tire than what's up front. Those are those BF Goodrich. This one is actually a Toyo Proxys ST3. And the problem is you can't find a tire this tall and a tire as short as the front ones in the same tire line. I looked and looked and looked. The wheel on this one is also a Krager Soft 8 like the front, and it is a 17/8. Now we're gonna put the wheels and tires on, put this thing down on the ground, and see how we're doing. Ooh, it has more rake.
The back's way too high.
That's where the rake's coming from.
The front definitely looks right now. That's a win.
Yeah, if it doesn't rub.
You're tucking a 1/16 of an inch of tire.
Is that one the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. We have ability to slam the back more. We just have the wrong springs for now.
We're gonna have to hack the bed to clear all of this junk that doesn't really work.
Thanks.
It will later. It's just the wrong springs. We're 2 springs away from this being...
Yeah, dialed. I came out here and marked out what I need to cut in order to clear the coilover and the coilover mount. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut along these lines here, try and keep it as clean as I can. I've also got to cut a little sheet metal, and that'll make room for those tabs that I actually welded on top of the step notch.
Dave's out there hacking my bed to bits. You can hear it. I told him, go with what you know. He's making a pre-runner out of it. Meanwhile, I'm gonna install a front sway bar on this thing. It's never had one, or I should say, it hasn't had one since the airbags were on it. And so this is a unit from CPP. It's just a piece of like chrome moly tubing and a couple of arms that dangle somewhere over the lower control arm. And I'm judging by this bushing that this is a 1 1/4 inch sway bar, or anti-roll bar. I hate it when people get upset. It's not a sway bar. It's an anti-roll bar. Yeah, except for in the vernacular of every gearhead since about 1950.
That's good enough. Round up some guys and we'll throw this thing on the truck.
It's installed, and guess what? It actually bolted right up. I have to give him credit for that. As if by magic, I am making the bed come in. We got help. We got Gil, we got Mason, we got Director Brad, and of course we have Dave Chappelle.
It's going swell. This is the bed we took off, right?
I'm surprised it didn't get stolen.
Just go down. There it is, right back where it came from.
Nice work. That has been a long day, but it's done. Here's the thing, if we hadn't told anybody what we were trying to achieve here,
yeah,
they'd think this was a win.
I'm okay with it. I was ordering parts for a truck I'd never seen before from 1,000 miles away, and I got it within an inch. That's pretty good.
That's a win. And you know what? They might settle. My only complaint here is that I think it's actually taller in the back, but it looks that way because it is lower in the front. So it's got more rake.
Your back tires are a little bigger than they were.
A little bit.
So.
Yeah. And I think, is the rear end more centered now?
It is.
And we know it's not crooked, so we have achieved something.
Yeah. I guess the main thing is that we go out tomorrow and we see if it does burnouts or it gets around a fake autocross track as well as it did.
All I need to do is be able to thrash it and have it drive better on the highway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
It's the last day and we're ready for action in the muscle truck to find out if we ruined it after all of our suspension modifications, because it's as done as it's going to get for right now. So we're gonna fiddle with the Mustang also just a little bit. He's putting a 90-degree on the exhaust pipe so that when he drives at 1,500 miles home, it doesn't kill you.
That's the goal, at least.
I'm gonna try and richen up the Mustang because Chappelle was complaining that it had a bit of a stumble, and I'm pretty sure it's like a lean surge situation. So I did a quick tune-up by timing it, checking the vacuum on the carb, and then I changed the power valve from an 8.5 to a 10.5 so that it would open sooner. I ultimately found a jet that was completely caked with crud, so it wasn't passing fuel. After a quick clean out, it should run a lot better.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
It was getting no fuel.
That's correct. So I think we will put those jets back in rather than change them because these are already a 52. So it's gonna drive better instantaneously.
Sweet.
Jets are fixed, run it. We're about to hit the road to our test facility, but I think you know what's gonna happen.
Please work good. It still does its thing. This is all mine's good at. Wait for me. It doesn't suck.
It did a burnout.
Yeah.
Rad.
It did it good.
Love it. Was that my smoke inside your car?
Yeah.
Oh, when you pulled out, there was smoke pouring out of your car.
Yeah.
That's great. All right, let's go. Dirthead Dave completely fabricated the rear suspension on the muscle truck from scratch. I lowered the front, added a sway bar. Are you ready for the road test info?
Yeah, I want to see how it does. I was following you out here, and I'm like, it still does truck things, and it still peeled out of the shop.
Does it go straight now? It's not crab walking? Okay,
yeah.
I figured that. The good news is the alignment is better. It's not as weird and twitchy. We did not destroy the ride quality of it. It's stiffer, but I think anybody other than me wouldn't notice that.
Cool.
It sits way too high in the back.
Yeah.
And that affects like my steering position. Well, it's weird. You actually feel like you're leaning forward.
I'll bet you if we didn't hammer the front, we wouldn't notice that it's a little bit higher in the back.
Probably not. And the last thing is really, really subtle. But it used to be I would bring this thing up to about 5,000 RPM and shift, and the trans shift hard enough that I could feel the rear end going ga, 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 ga.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't do that at all anymore.
Sweet.
And actually, on that note, the rear end's not all rattly like it used to be because those Caltracs used to hit the leaf spring. So that's all good.
All right.
How about the Mustang 2?
The tailpipe out the side definitely helped. It runs smoother throughout the whole band. It still does stumble a little bit, but I don't know that we're gonna fix that today. Let's go run it around the cones and see how it does. Ready to see if it'll do anything?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah! Get some! Yes!
Those little spider gears were bad.
How big's the ring gear?
6 3/4.
Yes! Ah, not bad. Yeah! You know, it's more fun to drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow. That's what this is.
It's so good.
And all your Tom Hackery with the suspension,
It works.
it's actually pretty great.
Apparently, it's just a race car.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Man, you just outrun that muscle truck. Like,
I love my car.
that was so fun. It's really, really good. I love it.
I am so stoked on it.
The tune-up is flawless for that.
It's so good. It's like the harder you drive it, the better it gets.
Well, that's how you're gonna get home then, right?
Dude, it's so good. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a time.
Okay, cool.
3, 2, 1.
All right, now I gotta start slowing down, unfortunately, in first gear. Hot foot, controllable.
.2.
All right, same.
Good job.
Yep.
You didn't ruin it.
Nope, not ruined. It's a matter of the suspension actually moving instead of
Trying to lift the inside tire.
Exactly.
Cool.
That's great.
We have successfully not gotten invited back here, I'm pretty sure.
I think it's a win, Dave.
It's good. Oh my gosh, we're going backwards. Yeah. That's awesome. It's like so predictable too. That is great.
Yep. What?
A V8 in my car.
Yeah, you might.
This is amazing. No wonder muscle cars are cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
See if it'll get around the cones.
Let's see if it handles.
Tires are warm.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah, we're done.
I got greedy there. I totally got greedy on that one. Well, when we talked about changing up the muscle truck, I have to admit that I felt a little bit tenuous about it. I wasn't sure. Dave assured me that it was going to be mint, and ultimately our goal of handling went out the window. All I wanted was a better stance, more reliability, and less butchery, and of course, not ruining it.
We didn't ruin it.
We didn't, and that's our goal, really, every single time on Roadkill Garage.